Good morning, everybody. It's Thanksgiving 2020. So anyway, we're here in the kitchen and we're going to do these basic rolls. This right here is the ingredients. And you're supposed to start out by softening your yeast and all that. We're going to do that in just a second. And you can pause there if you want. See just exactly what this stuff is. So, if you're curious what this book is, this is an old Better Homes new cookbook. It's one my mother had. She gave it to me when I got married the first time back in '84, I believe it was. So anyway, it's been around. But we're going to start off with a quarter cup of warm water and the yeast. So anyway, we'll measure. So you need some warm water. So I like to temper the dish. Just run some hot water onto it. And that don't cool your water down so much. So that water is just about lukewarm, which is about where we want it. Oh, I'm supposed to have a quarter of a cup, not a cup. Let me have that quarter. There we go. You don't want to screw up right off the bat. So there's our quarter of a cup. And then this here says 2 1/4 teaspoons. So, and as we all know, you know, this stuff isn't rocket science. It's just get it close. Then what I like to do is give it just a pinch of sugar, so it's got something to work on. We'll set it over here on the edge of the wood stove. I'll take a fork for that, just mix it a little. Get it all wet. Yeah. That's probably right at probably 90 degrees, 95 degrees there. So anyway, the next operation of business is over here. We've got a small pan, and we are going to do 1 cup of milk, which it doesn't matter what type you use. This happens to have a little bit of whole milk because we made homemade ice cream yesterday. And if we've got enough, we're going to use that. So there's our 1 cup. A lot of people tell you got to stir it steady. I never do. We'll put this stuff away. You put it away as you use it. You keep up with the mass. Like to put your burner on low. Just as low as it'll go. You want the bulb in the milk without having to touch the bottom. And just leave it there. It'll do its thing real slow. So then over here, in this pan, we're going to dump that warm milk to it in a minute. We want a quarter cup of shortening, quarter cup of sugar. So we'll do the sugar first, because that don't stick to the cup like the. Got a few lumps in it here, but we've had a humid summer and we bought that sugar ahead of time a little bit. So there's a quarter cup of sugar. And we want a quarter cup of shortening. So we'll go ahead and get this out over here. Using some just plain old Crisco. And this recipe will handle quite a bit of variation in the way it's made, because, you know, A lot of bread's real finicky. This recipe don't seem to be. So we'll get that off there. That's why you do this one last, because it makes a mess. Throw that in the sink. And our egg will go in later, so we don't do that. A little bit of salt out here. It's supposed to be a teaspoon, I think it is. But yeah, that's probably a half. It's a little light, but Carol likes to watch our salt intake. So anyway, now we got to wait until the milk gets up to temperature. That's the next step. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's up to just about 90 degrees. We've got to go to 160 on it where it says scald milk. So I'll bring it back here in a minute because it's just time. Well, as you can see, that's just hitting 155, whatever it is there when it says it's scalded milk. We're going to call that good. If you try to go much more than that, you'll end up getting stuff stuck to the bottom of your pan. So anyway, that'll go in there, and then we'll put the mixer down in and just let it go slow. It'll help that big lump of Crisco there melt. Eventually that'll dissolve, and when it gets dissolved there, I'll bring you back, because I'm going to get a rack here and put a rack here so we can put the bowl on the wood stove here in a minute. Well, the directions say to combine the milk, sugar, shortening, and salt, cool to lukewarm. Then you add 1.5 cups of flour. Beat well, then beat in the yeast and the egg. So we got to wait until this is lukewarm. It's still pretty hot. It's a little, probably 120 degrees still. That's why it's still melting that Crisco. So anyway, we got a rack here. We're gonna actually rise the bread right here. Today the stove's running a little hot. Usually I set it right on here, but she's running good today, so we'll put it up there. I'll bring it back in a few. So we're gonna shut this off. It's done about as good as it's gonna get. And we gotta get into our big. This here is a 2-cup measure, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we only want, this thing says 1.5, so we're just gonna eyeball it. That there's close enough. I mean, it's supposed to be to that 3rd ring.
That's 1 3/4.
That's 1 3/4. No, it's 1.5. This is 1.5, which is what we want. So we'll put that away for a little bit. Put that back in. We'll beat that for a few minutes, and then we will put in the yeast and the egg. I will get a spoon here so we can knock that down. Want to incorporate everything. Oh yeah. One more quick mix. Put that egg in. This is how your yeast should look. Should bubble right up, be nice and frothy. Oh yeah. Now we'll beat that around. It's still sticking to the sides a little bit. Oh, get it all the way off before we pick that up. We don't need to make a mess in the kitchen. I'll have my kitchen privileges taken away here if I ain't careful. There, that's pretty well incorporated. Now we have to add the remaining 2 cups of flour, which is kind of nice because we've got a nice 2-cup measure here. And all those professional bakers out there that like to sift all their stuff, now, I don't know what to tell you. I think the only reason they sifted everything back in the old days was to sift the weevils out. Because I can remember back when I was a kid, my grandmother used to buy it in big bulk, and she'd sift all the stuff out, and she'd dump the weevils that was in the flour right back into the trash, and that was how they did it. People thought nothing of it. But nowadays you don't get the weevils in the flour like you used to. I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe it was because she kept it in an open drawer, and probably she never cleaned the corners out, so eventually stuff starts living in it. Time's gone by, you know. Oh, that's a good looking good. Actually better lock the back down because she's going a little stiff. So I'm going to put this book away. I'm going to make a mess here. I got to do a little kneading. Wash my hands. I'll tackle that one more time. Whoop, unlock it. See what we got. Let's get some flour out here. And I forgot to do something there. You want to grab that rug there? Because as you can see already, I got flour on the floor. Carol's going to scoot that right out of there, right into the other room. Beautiful. Now she'll take over again. Keep a little flour on your fingers and it'll come right off easier. So this ain't going to be a bad looking batch. A little sticky, but we'll take care of that right there. Set that there. We'll see here how we're coming. All we're really trying to do is get it so that it doesn't stick to everything. It doesn't need to be a real stiff batter. This is just about there. And whoop. Just keep bringing a little bit of flour into it at a time. Because later on when you go to cut it into individual pieces, you'll have trouble with it sticking to everything if you don't get quite enough flour into it. And this is getting pretty darn good. Matter of fact, I'm going to call that done. That's a nice bowl of bread dough. So we need to go take a paper towel. Take a little bit of the Crisco. And we'll just do the whole bowl so it don't stick to it when it rises. fire. Now, we'll take that because it's a mess. We'll get rid of that. That's one nice thing about a cook stove. You can get rid of a lot of your stuff. Put that away. And then, put that in upside down once real quick and then flip it over because that's what the book says to do. And then we'll take our clean towel and we'll just lay right over that. We'll set it out to this edge. And I'll show you another neat trick to keep the stuff from falling off. You know, sometimes people walk by and they hit stuff accidentally. You know, you can just go ahead, put a couple of your clothespins on. That'll keep it right on there nice and neat. And now we're going to wait till about 11 o'clock. Well, let's see now. It's quarter to 10. At 10:30 probably I'll come up. And we'll put those in the muffin tins. I'll bring you back then. So I know this is about rolls, but Carol's she's in the kitchen. We got big knives, but this is how she does it on the kitchen. Real time. She's gonna do this for the house. She just uses a regular tablespoon. And she'll just clean out them little fibers. Of course, when it's not for sale and it's just for home use, you know, you don't have to be so fussy. And then this is where the magic is. Everybody says it's so hard to peel a butternut. Carol makes it look easy. Slippery one.
Well, I usually have gloves on.
Yeah, she's not used to working without gloves. But still, you're only talking a couple minutes to peel one of them. It's all done. Clean up a few peelings, you know, that hit the floor and whatnot. That's all stuff that happens, you know. But anyway, that's all there is to it. And then she'll chop that up. Probably the dullest knife she's got in the kitchen. But anyway. She's gonna throw it all in the pan, chunk it up. That's how she does it. She'll work away at that. And so anyway, come over here. I'll bring it over. So anyway, what we need to do now, we need to grease up our tin. You grease your tin good. When you get these rolls done, they'll just pick right out. Of course, this pan here has got a little bit of rust and stuff in it. It's older than time, but it cooks good, so. I'm not a big fan of all those non-stick coatings. So anyway, that's all there is to it. We'll set that right there. We'll save that. We'll bring it over here, see what we got going on over here. I can see the Towel's starting to lift. There we go. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So anyway, time to punch it down. We'll dump it out over here. Some flour on your hand first. And we'll just knead it a little bit just to kind of get the air out of it and make it a little more manageable. It's pretty good dough, I can tell by the feel of it. It's nice and soft. Oh yeah. I will grab me a knife and be right back. Hey, I had to sharpen the knife, had to shut you off for a minute. But anyway, so just take a pinch, watch out for your fingers. Give it a roll. That one's a little small. Sometimes you do the first one, it takes a few to get them right, but that'll be alright. Just tuck them right in beside of one another. And we just keep it on going. If your hands get sticky, don't hesitate to put some flour on them. So I'll bring you back in a few. Now we'll get this one here done. We'll put it over back. We're going to have to put a little more Crisco, go to another pan. That last one, you just take that little piece right there. You'll be surprised what that'll do. We'll just stick that right in there like so. We'll bring it over here. This is what I got going over here. Gotta have something to keep it off the wood stove directly, like so. And then to keep the draft off of it, we'll just go like so. And now it's a waiting game. We gotta wait about an hour for those to rise. And this thermometer is not right. When that's anything, oh, about where it is right there, it's probably close to 350 in there. So about 11:30, probably 20 or 12, we'll start putting them in the oven. And I'll be back then. For those of you who remember the potato digging video, these are the potatoes. We've got about 40 pounds of them left. We sold most of them, but yeah, they're pretty good looking potatoes. You know, a few bruises, but yeah, they're gonna be good today. Anyway, I'll bring you back when that bread is ready. Well, everybody, that's how good they rose. They're all ready to go in. The cook stove's up to temperature. So we will open the door up and slide them in. And I'll bring you back in about 10 minutes. Oven's a little cold, it might take a little longer than that. Well, I gotta tell you, I accidentally had the camera on picture, and when I did the big batch, all I did was take a couple quick snapshots. But the stove's getting up to temperature. Cooking better now. We've got the wood fire going pretty good. A little bit of fly ash in there. That's the stuff that you want to clean off. It would cook a little better, but usually I do that. We're up to about the normal temperature for cooking, which is about what we want. And that's all it takes, just a few seconds more. And those are golden brown. We'll set those up here. Those ones there, like I say, I didn't have the damn camera on. I had it on a camera instead of film, so, or video. So a little bit of nice butter. Set that there. And those should, yeah, they're all loose. So all you got to do, of course, you know, one at a time so your hands can cool off a little. Oh, yeah. We'll break this one apart and see what she looks like. This one here has been cool in here for a few minutes, but that is a beautiful piece of bread. If I can get this camera to move now. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I've never had these rolls fail. Boy, a little bit of butter on them. That's as close as heaven as you're gonna get. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. It's a good recipe. We'll talk to you later. Well, everybody, I got my end done. The rolls are cooked, and we're just waiting for the Carol's brother's coming. That's all we've got for a guest, and we see him often anyway. So, yeah, all of the rest of our relatives, like a lot of the folks around here, they're staying in the states they're in. We've got relatives all over the place, New Hampshire, Mass. They're gonna stay home, be safe. Hope you all are too. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. And yeah, don't hesitate to try that roll recipe. It's a good recipe. I've been cooking it since I was 16, 17 years old. And I've never had one fail yet. They always come out good. You know, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Just pause it at the beginning of the video if you want to see what them recipe, the actual written down part of it is. It might help you. Talk to you later.